What if everything you think you know about Steve Jobs and the iPhone is wrong? We've all heard that persistent myth floating around tech forums and review videos. The idea that if Steve Jobs were alive today, he'd be horrified. He'd supposedly look at the giant screen and complex design of the iPhone 15 Pro Max and denounce it as a complete betrayal of his vision. After all, he was the master of minimalism, the king of pocket-sized simplicity. But what if this popular story, repeated endlessly, is a deep and fundamental misunderstanding of the man and his philosophy? What if the iPhone 15 Pro Max in all its glorious complexity isn't the opposite of his dream, but its ultimate inevitable realization? What if this is exactly the device he was trying to build from the very beginning? The evidence is hidden in plain sight, and once you see it, you'll never look at your iPhone the same way again. The biggest argument people use against the idea of Jobs embracing the modern iPhone comes from a single quote in 2010. In a moment of pure confidence, he famously said, "Nobody's going to buy a big phone." And at that exact moment in history, he was absolutely right. Let's take ourselves back to that time. The tech world was a different place. BlackBerry, with its physical keyboard, was still a symbol of professional status. The App Store was just starting out, full of simple apps and novelties. The main point of a phone was undeniably communication. It was for making calls, sending texts, and maybe browse a really basic version of the web. The ultimate measure of good usability was whether you could comfortably type a message with one hand while holding a coffee in the other. In that context, a giant screen wasn't a feature, it was a roadblock, a hassle. But Steve Jobs wasn't a man stuck in the past. He was a master of evolution, a market leader. His entire career was built on one principle, a Wayne Gretzky quote he loved to repeat: "I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been." And the puck was moving at lightning speed. The phone was rapidly changing from just a communicator to our main portal to the digital universe, our TV, our movie theater, our game console, our camera, and most importantly, our creation screen. Jobs, the ultimate pragmatist, would have seen this shift not as a problem, but as the biggest opportunity in tech history. He wouldn't have stubbornly stuck to a 3.5-inch screen in a world crying out for a bigger, more immersive window. He would have built the best possible screen for this new reality, optimizing it with features like reachability to make sure usability wasn't sacrificed. But it's not just the screen size that matters. It's the incredible power he would have put behind it. Jobs had a core philosophy that drove everything he created. He didn't sell products, he sold an idea. The idea of building bicycles for the mind, tools that would boost human intellect and creativity to an almost superhuman level, making us faster, smarter, and more capable. For years, the Mac computer was the ultimate expression of this vision. But the iPhone 15 Pro Max has something that would have made him realize his philosophy could reach a global scale he'd only dreamed of: the A17 Pro chip. Calling this a cell phone processor is an insult. This isn't just a small upgrade. It's a huge leap forward, a quantum jump. We're talking about a 3-nanometer chip, an engineering marvel that used to be science fiction. It has a 6-core GPU with hardware-accelerated ray tracing. This isn't just tech jargon to impress. It's the key that unlocks desktop-class performance right in your hand. It means console games like Resident Evil Village or Death Stranding aren't streamed from the cloud. They run natively with complex graphics and smooth frame rates, something that until recently would have required a dedicated console or an expensive PC. It means creative pros can edit multiple 4K ProRes video tracks, applying color grading and effects in real time, right on the device. It means architects can render complex 3D models right there on a construction site. The chip also has a 16-core neural engine, the brains behind magical-feeling AI operations like live text, which reads text and videos, or real-time voicemail transcription. This is the bicycle for the mind, made portable, everywhere, and ridiculously powerful. It's the raw, unlimited power to create, not just to consume. But Jobs knew better than anyone that power is useless if you don't give people an amazing way to use it. And that's where the camera system comes in, a system that would have undoubtedly left him absolutely amazed.
Calling the iPhone 15 Pro Max's camera setup a phone camera is like calling a SpaceX rocket a way to get around. It's a description that just doesn't capture how ambitious it is. This is a professional imaging system cleverly disguised as a phone. Think about what Jobs valued most: empowering creative individuals. The 15 Pro Max doesn't just empower, it launches that person into the stratosphere.
It offers a 5x optical zoom telephoto lens, using an innovative tetraprism design to bend light, allowing for sharp long-range shots that used to be exclusive to heavy, expensive DSLR lenses.
But the real secret, the Jobsian magic, is in the software and how everything works together. The phone records in ProRes log video. For the average consumer, this might not mean much, but for a filmmaker, it's everything. It's a flat color profile that captures the maximum amount of light and shadow data, the exact standard professional cinematographers use, because it gives them total control over color grading in post-production. It's the difference between painting with an 8-crayon set and painting with an infinite palette of oils. Plus, it captures 48 megapixel Pro RAW photos, combining the flexibility of the RAW format with Apple's computational photography, like the Photonic Engine and Deep Fusion, which analyze pixels to optimize texture, details, and noise even before the image is fully formed. Jobs wasn't just trying to build a device that took a pretty picture of a sunset. He was on a mission to democratize Hollywood's tools, to break down barriers and put the power of visual storytelling into everyone's hands. He was building a tool for the next great filmmaker, photographer, or artist. And professional tools need professional workflows. This brings us to the one change many believe he would have never allowed. If you love Apple content, I highly suggest subscribing to the channel. I promise you won't regret it.
The switch from the proprietary Lightning connector to the universal USB-C standard seems at first glance like the most un-Jobsian move imaginable. This was the king of the walled garden, the man who believed in controlling every millimeter of the user experience, from the silicon chip to the plastic cable. The Lightning connector wasn't just a port, it was a symbol of control and a massive source of revenue through the MFI licensing program. So, why on earth would he give that up? The answer is surprisingly simple and shows the pragmatism behind his idealism, because the Pro in the iPhone 15 Pro Max name means something. It's a promise to the professional user. Those gigantic ProRes video files and 48 megapixel Pro RAW photos need to go somewhere, and fast. Transferring them at the archaic speeds of Lightning would be a painful bottleneck, a workflow killer for any serious creator. The USB-C port on the 15 Pro Max, however, supports USB 3 speeds, up to 20 times faster. But the game changer doesn't stop there. It turns the iPhone into a true professional hub. You can connect an external SSD and record 4K 60 FPS video directly to the drive, bypassing internal storage. You can connect microphones, card readers, and even external displays. In the battle between maintaining proprietary control and delivering revolutionary utility to his pro target audience, Jobs would have chosen progress. He would have skated to where the puck was going. And for professional workflows, the puck was undeniably USB-C. He would have understood that simplifying the user's life, allowing them to charge their MacBook, iPad, and iPhone with a single cable, was the highest form of ecosystem elegance. This ability to solve problems elegantly was his trademark, but his true genius was revealed when he could combine hardware and software into something that felt like pure, undeniable magic.
Look no further than the dynamic island. For years, all smartphone manufacturers struggled with the same ugly, awkward problem. The need for a front camera and sensors created a notch or a hole punch in the screen. It was dead space, a static smudge on the display, a design flaw everyone tried to hide with dark wallpapers or simply ignore. Apple, in a stroke of pure Jobsian brilliance, did the opposite. They didn't see a hardware limitation, they saw a software opportunity. Instead of hiding it, they embraced it. They turned it into the main stage. The dynamic island takes that hardware cutout and transforms it into a living, pulsating, shape-shifting hub for notifications, live activities, and background tasks. It's your timer, your music controls, your incoming call alert, your flight status, all smoothly integrated into a space that used to be a flaw. The animations are so fluid, they feel organic, giving the device personality. This is the ultimate solution to a problem Jobs would have obsessed over, an imperfection on an otherwise perfect screen. This is the ultimate definition of Apple's design philosophy, the deep integration between hardware and software to create a solution that's not just functional, but intuitive, responsive, and genuinely pleasant to use. It's the kind of sophisticated simplicity he pursued his entire life. And that obsession with details didn't stop at the screen. It extended to the materials you could feel.
Steve Jobs was a man with an almost obsessive love for materials. He understood, on a deep level, that how a device feels in your hand communicates its value, its purpose, and its soul. He wasn't just building electronics, he was creating objects of desire. He was the mind behind the translucent, colorful plastic of the iMac G3, which transformed the boring beige computer into a pop art piece of furniture. He championed the clean, white polycarbonate of the iBook and iPod, and most critically, led the shift to the precision aluminum and glass that defined the modern era of Apple products. For him, the material wasn't just a casing. It was a statement of intent. So, what would be the next logical step in his relentless pursuit of material perfection? It would be titanium. The aerospace-grade titanium alloy used in the iPhone 15 Pro Max's frame is the ultimate expression of his material philosophy. Titanium has one of the highest strength-to-weight ratios of any metal. This means the phone isn't just more durable and resistant to scratches and drops than its stainless steel predecessors, but it's also noticeably lighter. This isn't just a cosmetic choice. It's an engineering decision focused on user experience. It makes a big, powerful device feel more balanced, more comfortable in the hand for long periods. The brushed texture is tactile and resists fingerprints. It's a material that feels both raw and refined, strong and light. It feels like the future, and Steve Jobs was always building for the future. But one final piece was missing to complete this puzzle of perfection. The iPhone's classic silent switch was a hallmark of simple, intuitive design. It did one thing, and it did it perfectly. But as the iPhone evolved from a simple phone into a powerful, multifaceted tool, the very definition of simplicity had to evolve with it. The action button on the iPhone 15 Pro Max is that evolution personified. It keeps the tactile satisfaction and certainty of a physical button, but drops the limitation of a single function. Simplicity, as Jobs saw it, wasn't about having fewer features. It was about making powerful features easy and intuitive to access. The action button is the gateway to that philosophy. For a photographer on the street, a long press can instantly open the camera, ensuring they never miss the perfect shot. For a journalist, it can start an audio recording in a fraction of a second. For a student, it can turn on the flashlight. But its true power is unlocked through the Shortcuts app, where it can kick off a complex chain of custom actions, like turning on your house lights, playing your favorite playlist, and sending a message to a loved one, all with a single click. This is a subtle but profound change. It's the recognition that pro users aren't a single group. They have unique workflows, unique needs, and they demand a tool that adapts to them, not the other way around. It's the ultimate expression of powerful simplicity.
So when you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, the picture becomes undeniably clear and dazzlingly bright. A large, immersive screen that serves as both a canvas for creativity and a window for consumption. A chip with the power of a supercomputer from just a few years ago, finally realizing the dream of a bicycle for the mind. A camera system that steals Hollywood's tools and distributes them to the masses. A future-facing connection port that prioritizes professional workflow over proprietary dogma. A magical fusion of hardware and software that transforms a design flaw into a charming feature. And a premium futuristic material that feels as good to hold as it looks. The iPhone 15 Pro Max isn't a betrayal of Steve Jobs' vision. It's its apotheosis. It's his absolute, undeniable fulfillment. This isn't the phone he would have made in 2011. It's the phone that all his life's work, every obsession, every detail, and every philosophy was building toward. It's the masterpiece he set in motion, finally completed and perfected. And the most incredible part of all this is that this pinnacle of technology, the very device that represents the culmination of Steve Jobs' ultimate vision, isn't some distant concept or lab prototype. It's here, today. For those ready to wield the most powerful creative tool ever put in a pocket, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is available directly from Apple's official website and authorized resellers, ensuring you get the genuine product with the support to back it up. Prices currently start around $1,199 for the base model, which is more than a purchase price. It's an investment in a professional and creative ecosystem. Ultimately, perhaps the greatest tribute we can pay to a visionary isn't to freeze him in time, wondering what he would have done. It's to recognize and appreciate the dazzling future his vision, stubbornness, and brilliance helped create.